start of this year from the start of last year?
I just say just being more comfortable being on the floor. Last year, around this time being on the floor, I didn't know obviously how the college game was. So I would say the big difference is after a year of playing, a year of practicing, all the summers just knowing how to be on the court, knowing what to do on the court when something goes wrong, knowing how to just be more comfortable on the court. So
your first college game, obviously didn't go the way you want. What do you remember from that night and kind of what went wrong for you guys?
Kind of just not closing up the game, and I was like starting up the game. We didn't really start off the game well, so kind of don't want to dwell towards last year. Kind of just want to see what we did wrong at that time, just get better from it. So, going into Monday, we gotta win for sure. It's a home game, home opener. This is an important game for everybody in the gym, everywhere around the city. So, it's gonna be a big one.
With all the changes in the roster, now that you guys are right at the beginning of the season, how much do you feel you learn about each other with that Spain trip to take into this year?
We learned a lot. We learned a lot about each other, obviously, off the court and on the court. Off the court, know how to bond with each other, know who gets along with each other most. On the court, we just know how we play with each other, learn how we play off of each other, play off of our strengths. So.
You feel like you're a little ahead, maybe? Did it help maybe feel like you're getting ahead of where you guys were at last year?
Yeah, I think so, especially with the newer group. Last year we had a lot of the same guys back, not a whole lot of new guys, but I would say that Spain trip definitely helped, getting a lot of new guys, just playing different teams, seeing how we play with each other, and then the mistakes we made, we got to just eventually just move forward. So.
Do you feel like having a lot of new faces here, right? Like, do you think that raises the effort level from everyone when it's kind of a clean slate, everyone can, prove a different level?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's definitely proved that. So, it's competitive practices every day, very physical practices. It takes a lot of mental toughness. So, we get after it every day, and that's what Coach wants. So, for sure.
I was going to ask about that a little bit with everything being attractive. What do you think about that? Do you like that as like a motivator?
Yeah, I definitely like it too. It kind of shows. It's another way you can see things you got to work on. Like for instance, if your percentages are low, maybe get in the gym more, shoot more shots, or just kind of evaluate what shots you're taking, whether it's some good or bad. So.
Kind of good for accountability, right?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Xavier, what's the thing? You guys obviously hope you're going to grow throughout the season, of course, play your best basketball game. Where do you guys go into game one, though, right now? What's the thing you feel like, for sure, we're good at this. This is the one thing, at least. If nothing else, this is the one thing that's sort of a strength coming into game one.
I would say our offense is pretty good. We got a lot of guys who can score the ball. A lot of guys who do a lot of different things. We got a point guard who looks for his teammates. We got Jaden, Frankie, they're scorers. And then we got me at the floor. And then Shaman, he's good in the post too. He's good in the pick and roll game as well. So I think we got a lot of great pieces offensively, defensively. We're a really good team too. When we get it going defensively, we're a really good team. So for sure.
As I said the other day after that Ferris game, he said something like Book needs to be a star, I think, which just means you expect more out of you. Obviously, how do you handle that? What does that look like to you? And do you have to worry at all against just trying to do too much too early? I guess not putting that a negative amount of pressure on yourself. I guess.
Yeah, my coach is right. I think I need to improve in certain aspects of the Ferris game. Definitely rebounding for sure. I think I only had 2 rebounds that game. So. Going into the next game, that's definitely a main focus of mine, just getting more rebounds. Coach is right. I need to do better in that aspect. So whatever coach tells me he wants me to do, I'll do it. So
overall, though, I guess it's fair to say you see a high ceiling for yourself and
yes, sir.
Room to grow and everything into this year and be pivotal to what everything becomes, and all that.
Yeah, and not everything's gonna come at once. It's a long season, so we got a lot of time to grow as a team and as a player. So. Everything else will take care of itself. If we just do what we're supposed to do, everything will take care of itself. So.
Coach said he sat down with a number of players. How valuable is that to have a coach? Because not every coach does that. To be able to sit down with you and tell you what you've done wrong, and doesn't give you the cold shoulder and let you try to figure it out.
For some, at first when I first got here, Coach was on me a lot. He spent a lot of time and he was on me a lot, but I wasn't taking it the right way at first. But as I've grown as a player and as a person, I've kind of taken as he's on me a lot. That means he really cares and he sees the potential in me and sees the player I can become. So I've kind of learned to just take whatever he says in a positive way. And it's helped me. So
Were you one of the guys he sat down with?
yeah, yep.
Was there a moment when I guess you took on that second mentality of like that kind of growth? When did you kind of realize that?
I mean, I would say like right after the season ended, we knew we were going to lose a lot of guys, and we knew that certain guys had to step up in our roles, which was me. So I knew I had to step up. I know what coach expected that in me. So right now, it's not everything's going to come at once, like I said, but it's just a long season, and I think we're going to get everything figured out. I think I'm going to figure everything out as well. So as the season goes on. So.
What do you expect for yourself this season? How would you, at the end of it, what would you consider success for yourself? I guess, however you want to define it.
I mean, just doing whatever the team needs me to do. Coach wants me to defend. He wants me to rebound well. He wants me to score. So those are the main things. Block shots. Just do everything for the team. So that's what Coach wants me to do, and I'll do it. So.
Anything else for Xavier?
What's it been like working with Sadi? It's been a few months now, and how do you feel like you benefited from having him around?
I mean, I spend time with Sadi pretty much every day, whether it's film or whether I'm just going in his office talking. I've definitely loved him, the new addition of him around. I mean, he's great. He spends a lot of time with me, and that's kind of something that you want, like from players' perspective. You kind of want a guy who has your back and will spend a lot of time with you, who cares for you and wants the best for you. So that's been great having him around. Definitely love him for sure.
Is there anything he's brought when he's bringing a different perspective? He hasn't seen you as much, comes from a different place. Does that perspective bring anything new that maybe you hadn't thought about, I guess, with your game and things like that?
I mean, he's actually been very familiar with my game. He actually recruited me at Michigan, so he's been familiar with my game for a while. But definitely coming here, he was excited to be able to coach me and spend time with me. So
I was just saying, how much did that past relationship, how does that help ease the transition, maybe for him and also for you into a new coach?
I mean, I didn't talk to him a whole lot at Michigan, but I mean, obviously he knew who I was. He recruited me a little bit, but I just know when he came here, he was excited to work with me. So I was excited to work with him too, for sure.
Did you ever mess with him a little bit about being a former Michigan guy?
Nah, not for real. I mean, I might ask him a few stories about how everything went over there, but I don't mess with him too much about that now.
Thanks, Booker.
Yeah, of course.